stop right now. If you could get your hands on the instruction manual that deciphers the complex female universe, how much time and frustration would you save? I'm going to tell you the secret that took me 8 years to discover, and that will completely transform the way you interact with women. Pay attention, because it's ultra rare for someone to tell you this. Unfiltered. Are you tired of feeling like you're speaking one language and she understands a completely different one? As if there's a secret code everyone knows but you? I guarantee that after the next few minutes, you'll never look at an interaction with a woman the same way again. It's like someone turned on an internal radar you didn't even know you had. Do you know what the real problem is? You're playing chess while she's dancing tango. Two parallel universes trying to connect, but speaking different languages. How many times have you felt completely lost when she said everything was fine, but it clearly wasn't? Now imagine continuing like this for the next 5-10 years. Repeating the same mistakes, pushing away precisely the women you're truly interested in, building invisible walls without even realizing it. Do you think it's a coincidence that some men seem to have a natural magnet, while others struggle to maintain a 5-minute conversation? The truth is, your insecurity is screaming louder than your words, and they pick up on it in seconds. It's biological, instinctive, almost primitive. Look, after mentoring hundreds of men and diving deep into female psychology for almost a decade, I discovered patterns that almost no one notices. Studies show that women process nonverbal cues 3 times faster than men. You're still formulating the sentence, and she's already read your entire body language. Remember that as I show you the 5 fundamental pillars that will completely change your game. Pillar 1. The inconvenient truth about what women truly seek and will never tell you directly. You probably think they want the best-looking, richest, or funniest guy in the room. Wrong. Completely wrong. What they seek is emotional consistency. A man who is the same person when he's alone, with his friends, and with her. It sounds simple, but it's incredibly rare. Think with me. How many times have you changed your behavior to impress? How many times have you pretended to like something you hate just to please? She notices. Always notices. It's like an internal sonar that detects incongruities from miles away. I knew a guy, a successful businessman, who couldn't understand why women disappeared after the 3rd date. You know what we discovered? He had 3 different personalities. One at work, one on dates, another with his friends. When she saw these inconsistencies, her internal alarm went off. Game over. The magnetic authenticity you need to develop isn't about being perfect. It's about being genuinely you, with your strengths and flaws integrated. Emotional. Consistency. Can you feel how that changes everything? Pillar 2. Unraveling female nonverbal language. What she thinks versus what she says. Come on, pay attention, because few men apply this correctly. When she crosses her arms during a conversation, it's not necessarily defensive. It could be self-comfort. When she touches her hair, it's not always interest. Sometimes it's anxiety. You're reading the signals with the wrong manual. The dance of bodies tells a story that words will never reveal. If her body is pointed towards the exit, while her face smiles at you, which message do you think is the true one? Studies show that 70% of female communication happens without words. You're missing more than half the conversation. There was a time I was coaching a client in the field. He was talking to an interesting woman at a coffee shop. She said she'd love to go out with him again, but her feet were pointed towards the door, her shoulders were tense, her smile didn't reach her eyes. I told him not to push it. He didn't believe me. He texted her the next day and never heard back. The body doesn't lie. Words are social diplomacy. The body is raw truth. Body truth. Does that make sense now? Pillar 3. How to build irresistible value and authenticity that naturally attracts. Wake up, man. Value isn't what you have, it's what you project and consistently deliver. You can have the best car, the best job, the best looks. If your energy screams neediness and desperation, none of that matters. Real value comes from 3 main sources that form what I call the triangle of personal magnetism. First vertex, clear purpose. Do you know where you're going in life? Do you have goals that make you jump out of bed in the morning? Women are biologically attracted to men in motion. It's evolutionary, ancestral, It's in their DNA. Second vertex, total presence. When you're with her, are you really there? Or is your mind split between your phone, work, and 1,000 other worries? Presence is the new luxury. Who can offer total attention these days? Third vertex, strategic vulnerability. I'm not talking about crying on the first date. I'm talking about sharing your struggles in a way that demonstrates strength, not weakness. I knew a businessman who could never get past the first month of a relationship. You know what the problem was? He never showed any flaws, any difficulties, any challenges. Women couldn't connect with a perfect robot. When he started sharing his fears in a mature way, everything changed. A woman once told me that men who never show vulnerability are like windowless houses, beautiful on the outside but suffocating on the inside. Authentic magnetism. Can you see the difference? Pillar 4. The art of magnetic communication, connecting emotions and minds simultaneously. Stop now and listen. Most men talk to inform. Women converse to connect. You're answering her questions literally when she wants to. Understand how you think and feel. When she asks how your day was, she doesn't want a report. She wants to understand your emotional world. Magnetic communication follows what I call the 50-30-20 protocol. 50% active listening, 30% deepening questions, 20% personal sharing. Most men do the opposite. They talk 70% of the time trying to impress. Have you ever noticed how some conversations flow naturally while others feel like interrogations? The difference lies in emotional depth. When you ask about her job, she doesn't want to know the tasks. She wants to understand how she feels in that environment. I remember a guy who completely transformed his dates when he stopped asking superficial questions. Instead of asking what she did, he asked what motivated her in it. Instead of asking where she lived, he asked what she loved most about the place she lived. The answers revealed inner worlds. Connections deepened naturally. Emotional depth. Feel how that changes the energy? Pillar 5. Avoiding the classic mistakes that kill attraction instantly. Pay attention because these mistakes are silent killers of attraction. Mistake number 1, neediness disguised as interest. Texting all the time isn't showing you care, it's showing you have nothing else going on in your life. Mistake number 2, agreeing with everything she says. You think you're being nice, but you're being boring. Women test boundaries to see if you have a backbone. Mistake number 3, trying to solve all her problems. Sometimes she just wants to be heard, not a superhero. Mistake number 4, revealing all your cards too early. Healthy mystery keeps interest alive. Telling your whole life story on the first date is like watching a movie knowing the ending. Mistake number 5, ignoring your own boundaries to please. Every time you say yes when you want to say no, you lose a piece of self-respect. And she notices. I had a client who would cancel important commitments whenever she called. He thought he was showing priority. She interpreted it as desperation. When he started keeping his commitments and having his own life, paradoxically, she began to value their time together more. Remember, scarcity creates value. Total availability creates boredom. Healthy boundaries. Can you see the pattern? Now let me anticipate your biggest objection. You're thinking, this sounds like manipulation, psychological games to get what you want. Wrong. Completely wrong. This isn't about deceiving anyone. It's about deep understanding. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Manipulation is pretending to be something you're not. This is about discovering who you really are and communicating that effectively. You're not learning tricks. You're learning the language of authentic human connection. When you understand how women process emotional information, you communicate better. When you project real value, you attract people, aligned with your values. It's about mutual respect, not domination. It's about genuine connection, not superficial conquest. Think of it this way. If you went to a foreign country, wouldn't you learn the local language? That's not manipulation. It's respect and social intelligence. The same applies here. You're learning to speak the emotional language that half the world's population uses naturally. Now I'm going to give you the framework that ties all of this together. The magnet effect I mentioned before. I for clear intention. You need to know exactly what you want before entering any interaction. A serious relationship, something casual, friendship, be honest with yourself first. M for aligned message. Your words, actions, and energy need to tell the same story. If you say you're confident, but your posture screams insecurity, which message prevails? A for magnetic authenticity. Be genuinely you, including your imperfections. Perfection repels. Humanity attracts. This framework is your internal radar working. When all three elements are aligned, you become naturally attractive. It's not about forcing it. It's about removing the interferences that block your natural magnetism. Remember the instruction manual I mentioned at the beginning? You've just received the most important pages. The question now isn't whether you have the information. It's whether you're going to apply it or leave everything as it is. How many more years do you want to spend in confusion? How many more opportunities will you lose by not understanding these basic principles? What I've shared isn't common knowledge. It's the result of years of studying patterns that most people don't even realize exist. Studies show that men who understand emotional dynamics have relationships 3 times more satisfying. It's not about luck. It's about understanding. You can continue navigating blindly, hoping that one day things will make sense. Or you can apply these 5 pillars and see real changes happening. The choice has always been yours, but now you have the tools. Pay attention to how you feel now compared to when you started reading. Has something changed internally? That's clarity arriving. Every interaction from now on will be different. You'll notice nuances that previously went unnoticed. You'll understand messages that were once enigmas. It's like someone turned on a light in a room you were navigating in the dark. But knowledge without action is just intellectual entertainment. You need to go out and practice, observe, adjust, evolve, start today, in your next conversation, on your next date, in your next message. Apply one principle at a time. Observe the reactions. Notice the subtle shifts in the energy of your interactions. You'll make mistakes at first. That's normal. It's part of calibrating your new internal radar. But every mistake will teach you something valuable. Every success will confirm that you're on the right path. Always remember, women don't want perfect men. They want real men who understand the subtle dance of human connection. You now have the score for this dance. The rest is practice and constant refinement. If this has opened your eyes, if you felt that someone finally translated what seemed impossible to understand, do this now before you forget. Like this content, subscribe for more transformative insights. Share this with that friend who urgently needs this information. You know exactly who that is. And remember, you're no longer navigating without the instruction manual. The map is in your hands. Use it wisely. The journey of transformation in your interactions starts exactly now, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because every day that passes without applying this knowledge is a day wasted in unnecessary confusion. You deserve deep and meaningful connections. They deserve a man who truly understands them. Be that man, starting today.